Timing's all good at the back yet? Cool. Rory, over to you, sir.
Hi Ollie, if we can start at the start, how pleased were you guys to get the Australia out with a lead and personally to get into the game yourself?
Yeah, obviously pleasing to clear it up early this morning. Khawaja obviously played really well and sort of felt like we were never going to get him out. So it was pleasing to get him out. Obviously Jimmy got a really nice ball to carry. And just to wrap the tail up as quickly as we did gave us a bit of confidence and a bit of momentum.
And then the batting period, it looked like the guys at the top were in reasonable control, and then they have to go out under the worst conditions of the match. In the dressing room, did it feel like pretty rotten luck in there?
Yeah, that's part of the game, isn't it? Conditions, lights coming on. I think it's the first time this game you've seen the pitch sort of zip around a little bit. We still wanted to be positive and still be aggressive in our batting, but unfortunately we lost 2 crucial wickets, and I suppose that's just part of the game.
Were the guys at the top pretty frustrated about it? I guess nobody wants to have a little mini session when it's zipping around under lights.
Yeah, they were, but they obviously understand that if the umpire says it's fit to play, then it's fit to play, and we crack on. I think you won't hear any excuses from our side. That's just part of the game.
And just lastly from here, can you let us know about where Moeen's at? He's had a reasonably rough birthday today. He's had a fine and his finger doesn't look great. How's that set up? Because obviously spin could play a real role in the end of the game.
I think as far as I'm aware, it's fine. I haven't actually seen it myself, but I think it's fine, to be honest.
Christoph?
Ollie, have you had to think about how long you'd like to ideally bowl at Australia to kind of get another 10 wickets on this pitch?
I think ideally a day. I think 90 overs, if they had a score to chase, would allow us to bowl them out. I think if they were playing for the draw and playing defensively like have done so far this game, then it might be slightly different. So we'll have to wait and see.
And does the fact that you guys have kind of won from situations where people haven't expected you to, does that favour the belief that you can still win this game even if there is a bit of weather around on day 5? Yeah,
definitely. I think the pitch is deteriorating a little bit. It's obviously spinning a bit more as well. And I think when we're fresh again with a harder ball, we can make inroads early. So I have no doubt that we can take the 10 wickets quickly and wrap it up.
We'll go Stefan and Louis from cricket.com.au, and then we'll go Will from the Telegraph.
Ollie, you've just said that Australia have played defensively. What have you made of their approach, and how different is it to your first Ashes experience 18 months ago?
I think we've sort of made them play in the way that they have. The aggressive nature of the way we've gone about it, our batting and bowling has meant they've had to be more defensive. It's not normally something you see from an Australian side, but I think, like I said, the way that we're playing under Ben and Baz is causing that to happen.
Louis?
Ollie, the short ball tactic that you guys used against the Aussie tail seemed to work pretty well, wrapping things up pretty quickly. Was that something you guys talked about specifically for the tail coming into the test? And when you were batting, were you surprised you didn't get many yourself?
I think it's just pitch dependent, really. I think obviously Pat Cummins is a really good player, and I think we felt like bowling full to their tail would give them a chance to maybe score some more runs. So it's sort of a wicket ploy, but also it's harder to score on when it's too paced. So it had sort of multi-purpose, really, in the way that we went about it.
Will, go ahead.
Ollie, you seemed pretty pleased when you got Usman Khawaja out. Obviously, he batted very well. Can you just kind of take us inside what went on there, and maybe sort of how you reflect on your celebration?
Yeah, I think for me, it's my first home Ashes, and to get the big wicket at the time was special for me. I think Uzi played unbelievably well, and to get that wicket for us at the time as a team was massive. And I think we all want that theatre of the game, don't we? So I'm here to provide it.
And in terms of theatre, you had that extraordinary field which was moved just for that ball. Could you kind of not believe that the plan came off?
Yeah, so Stokesy came up to the ball before and said, what do we do in Pakistan? And I said, I think they had an umbrella field. And he said, let's just go for it, shall we? I said, yeah, let's go for it. He said, what are you going to bowl? And I said, I could bowl a slowie or I could bowl a Yorker. And he said, go for Yorker first up. So then literally just went for a Yorker, and as he sort of came down the wicket, played a different shot to what he's been playing, and luckily it hit the off stump. One of those plans that just comes off, and Stokes looks like a genius.
Scott?
Ollie, just further to that on the celebration with the Usman Khawaja wicket, how do you think it might have been received in the Australian dressing room, and do you think it might have put a bit of a target on your head in some way?
Don't really care how it's perceived, to be honest. I think it's the Ashes, it's a professional sport. If you can't handle that, what can you handle?
We'll do Malcolm and then we'll finish with Jonathan.
Ollie, it's your celebration's obviously all over social media and it's got up pretty close, and there's a pretty clear interpretation of what you said. So it looked like you've abused Usman Khawaja. So do you think abusing an opposition player is part of the theatre of the game?
No, it's not, but I think when you're in the heat of the moment and you have the passion of the Ashes, that can happen. I think we've all seen Ricky Ponting, other Aussies do the same to us, so just because the shoes in the other foot, it's not received well.
So you don't expect to hear from the match referee at all? Do you know what's happening in that regard?
We'll finish with Jonathan here and then we're done.
Ollie, you cleaned up the tail pretty quickly today. You got Lyon, Boland, Hazlewood, 9, 10, 11. Do you see a little bit of an opportunity there? Because Lyon's probably a place or two higher than he normally bats. Is that something that you think you can capitalise on over the series?
Yeah, it's something we spoke about as a group. We said once we get to past Cummings, we feel like they've got 3 number 11s. So it's something that we can target through the series and try and wrap up their innings quite quick and give us that momentum into our batting innings.
Well done, thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.